Here are the top 5 neighborhoods in Boerne that I think you need to pay attention to in 2025, my take. So let's first start with Esperanza. And I know what a lot of people are gonna say who live in Boerne, the traffic on 46, and you're right, there is a ton of traffic on 46. This area has expanded, but with that expansion, you're going to see more and more moving out to where you're not going to have to drive that often. So right now, you might have to drive a little further to go get your groceries or drive to your favorite restaurant, but give it time. Now that everything is pushing out that direction on 46, you will see more restaurants, you'll see more convenience stores, more places to grab your groceries and all the amenities that you're going to need. So complain about the traffic now, it will get better as amenities go out there because you're not going to have to be driving as far. So why I like Esperanza and why I'm listing it as one of my top 5 neighborhoods to look at in Boerne in 2025 is just the beauty of the neighborhood. So I know you're talking about houses, you want beautiful houses, but just take the neighborhood as a whole. So this community is on 1,700 acres, with 420 of those being open space and over 20 miles of trails to walk and bike on. So if you are looking at a community where you want that natural space, maybe you're relocating from a different state where you're used to it, maybe more of an open feel, or you're coming from the mountains, something like that, and you really are trying to find a place to call home in Texas where you have that greenery, Esperanza is one of those communities where you get the community aspect, but you also get all of the open space to explore the Texas Hill Country. So that is one of my big pushes, and it's also beautiful. So the Lookout Group is the developer for this neighborhood, and they have just done a phenomenal job about just adding in key details here and there. I think on their website I was reading that they it's a surprise around every corner is what they were trying to go with. But they have stone features, they have art, they have really done a great job at not just enhancing the neighborhood as far as the amenities they provide, but also the beauty and the nature, and bringing in these tiny little aspects that, you know, 1 or 2 here and there wouldn't make a big difference, but since they are everywhere scattered throughout the community, it really makes it just a beautiful community to walk in, to drive in, to bike, and you just see these little architectural details, little stone arches, art, everything like that, that really makes it stunning. So that is kind of what I like about the quote unquote the nature side of this community. But from an amenity standpoint, which I did tease a little earlier, they have some of the best amenities in neighborhoods in this area. This is one of the first master plan communities that Boerne has, and I absolutely love the concept of master plan communities. So you have you have your elementary school, which I'll get to in a little bit, but you have a little lazy river style resort. You have your pool, you have 2 private clubhouses, you have an exercise facility, you have this green area where you can go out and play. They have a dog park. They have so much as far as amenities in the actual neighborhood that you really don't have to leave if you're thinking, okay, I have to drive to Six Flags or SeaWorld or something like that for a water park. I mean, it's not a water park, but it's pretty darn close. I don't think I would be leaving Esperanza to go anywhere else. I would take my kids to the pool there and just really, really enjoy that space there. And so that's something that, again, the developer has just really poured a ton of money into to make that community that much better for its residents. A lot of communities have neighborhood pools, but they don't have neighborhood pools and amenity centers like this one. Another thing I like about Esperanza is it really does provide something for everyone. So the houses range from that 400 standpoint all the way up to $1 million plus. And the reason you have such a wide range in price point is because there are different little subsections of the neighborhood per se. So you have your custom home section where it's on acre lots and they're beautiful custom homes. You have little garden home style communities. You have your typical single family residential, decent sized yard, neighborhood, little subsections. And then you also have now their brand new 55 plus community. So if you want to live in a neighborhood with mom and dad, but you don't want them right next to you, they have a whole 55 plus subdivision. and its own amenity center. So if you are looking for, that 55 plus, but you want to be in a community still, you can go to this area and you get your own amenities. So yes, you can cross over to go to the regular neighborhood amenities, but you have your own private section where you have a pool for just 55 plus. You have all these facilities to where you can commingle or you can stay separate. And I think that is a big push because here in our area, we don't have a ton of 55 plus. We have a Del Webb that's way over by Alamo Ranch, but there's really not a ton of 55 plus communities in our Boerne area. And so this was just a great addition for this developer, putting that in, really catering to our elderly community so that they can, again, live in a community, feel like they're a part of something bigger, but also have that separate lifestyle that they have earned and that they would like. Another thing is there is such a wide range of homes in Esperanza. So you have pre-owned homes and they also have a ton of new construction. So depending on what you would like, not only do you have different subsets as far as garden homes, 55 plus, custom homes, production homes, but you also have pre-owned and new. So out of this 1,700 acres, they are still building new homes. So if you are looking to move into the Texas area, into the Boerne area, and you want a new home, Esperanza has that. And a lot of our neighborhoods here are built out. Eventually you run out of land to build, but Esperanza has not yet. And so that's something that a lot of people love, and they're moving into that area because they want that new home. They want those new home incentives. They want to be able to walk in and say, hey, this is mine. I picked out these selections. This is truly my home. So whether you're looking for that pre-owned option, whether you're looking for that new construction option, Esperanza has it all. And I talked a little bit about schools earlier. So part of being a master plan community is that they have an elementary school, Herf Elementary, right inside the community. So you can walk your kids to school. And I absolutely love that. I grew up in a community where I walked to school because my school is right in my community, and it brings a community together. And it's zoned for Boerne ISD as far as school district, of course. And so you really have those top rated schools there. And so that is one of the things that really makes Esperanza, well, many things, I guess, because I've covered a lot, that makes Esperanza one of my top 5 neighborhoods to look at in Boerne in 2025. Let's move on to our next community. The Springs at Cordillera Ranch is going to be the next neighborhood that I talk about in this top 5 list of Boerne communities to look at in 2025. And a reason why this is on the list and it's not Cordillera as a whole is because there is distinct differences between Cordillera Ranch and the Springs of Cordillera Ranch. So while living at the Springs of Cordillera Ranch, you still have amenities to the world-class golf facilities, the equestrian facilities, the spa and fitness center, your resort-style pool, while you still have access to that through the membership of Cordillera Ranch, you are in this smaller private enclave. And so I really think that this is going to be a place that a lot of people start to look at, and they already have, but it's just this quieter, smaller, more community feel than the sprawling Cordillera Ranch. I mean, Cordillera Ranch is almost 9,000 acres. It is huge. You have large estates that are on large acreage, whereas the enclave, it is still on acreage lots, but not quite as large, and the entry level point is a lot lower. So you can get into the Springs of Cordillera Ranch in the mid 700 range, all the way, of course, up to million plus. But it really does have a lower entry point to where, again, you get to be in the prestigious Cordillera, but you aren't spending $1.5 million just to purchase your first home. So that is something that I really like, and I think a lot of people are going to like about the Springs of Cordillera Ranch, and some people don't even know about it yet. It's not brand new, but people only hear about Cordillera Ranch, and they kind of shy away because they're like, oh, well, some people, they're like, I couldn't even get into Cordillera Ranch, but you can. So this is a more affordable, more close-knit community feel, while still being a part of Cordillera Ranch, and there's amenities. Now, the Springs also has some really great features that if you don't want to drive all the way over to the main section of Cordillera Ranch, they have direct access to the Guadalupe River, and they have a ton of hiking and biking trails. So if, again, kind of like Esperanza, if you're looking for that nature feel, but even more so, then you will love these springs at Cordillera Ranch. And so direct access to the Guadalupe River, you can go dip your feet in, you can go kayaking, you can go canoeing, you can fish, you can really do a bunch of things, and you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, yet you're about a 15-20 minute drive to Main Street, Boerne. So not too bad if you're looking to get your groceries, restaurants, anything like that. Then this really isn't that far of a drive, and yet you just feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. So this is a really, really great community as far as looking for that perfect blend between luxury estates and nature, but also close to town. So something about this is they have really done a good job about this in the springs to try to incorporate the natural feel. So you will see a lot more easements, a lot more spacing between the houses, and they really do try to promote enhancing the natural beauty into the build of the house. So not to say that you can't build what you want. There are some architectural design committee standards you have to go by, but you can pretty much build what you want, except they really do try to encourage you to incorporate that. So I've driven through there. It is absolutely stunning, but you do see the houses kind of blend into the landscaping. And I love that concept instead of having these massive structures that take away from the beauty of the Texas Hill Country. Because a lot of people are moving here because they love the Texas Hill Country. They love the natural feel. They're not trying to make everything artificial and make it really what it's not. So that is a huge push here for the springs, and there's still a lot of building that is happening. There's still a lot of lots that you can choose. So you can either look at pre-owned homes or you can start from scratch. And that is the beauty of this, is you can buy the lot that you want, you can find the builder that you want, build the house that you want. And so that is something that I really, you will see if you follow me on social media. I love the construction process. I love the custom home process. That is something where I really dive into. And so that's why this is one of my favorite neighborhoods, because you can do that. You're not looking at production builders. You're looking at pure custom builders, to where if you can dream it, you can build it. And so it's just a really fun process with clients when you're out here, because they really do come with some cool ideas. And like I said, I mean, there are some guidelines you have to follow just because of the restrictions, but not a ton. So you really can build these beautiful houses out in nature in this community feel. So when you're driving through the neighborhood, it's not like you don't see anyone, but you'll see a house here and a house there and a house there. It's not like they're stacked up on top of each other. And so if you're really looking for a little bit of, elbow room, but you want that community feel, you want the amenities, you will love the springs at Cordillera. I would love to drive y'all out there. I have some video that I'm going to incorporate into this as B-roll just to show you how stunning it is. And then also we can talk about the amenities that come with Cordillera, because that's of course a big push, is people want to have that country club feel. They want to feel like they're at a resort, a private community. And so that's something is you won't see anyone without access to that area in there. And so you really get the best of both worlds, and you feel like you're your own little oasis. So that is kind of my spiel on the springs at Cordillera Ranch. And next up, we're going to talk about another key favorite where you feel like you have your own country club, and that is Fair Oaks Ranch and all the little subset neighborhoods in it. So let's talk about Fair Oaks Ranch. This community has been around for a long time. It's not going to be like your Esperanza or your Cordillera where they're relatively new. This community has been there for a long time. I would have to look up how long it's been there, but my grandparents live in Boerne, grew up in Boerne, and it was part of the area even then. So something about Fair Oaks that is very, very unique is that it is so expansive that you have a lot of different options. So there are There are your garden home communities. There's your typical production style single family residential new construction homes. There are sprawling equestrian estates. There is your coveted Deer Meadow estates, where it's 1 acre lots of beautiful custom homes. And you just have a lot going on there. So if you want lots of space where you can put your horses out there, if you want 1 acre lots, if you want garden home communities, if you want to be in a single family neighborhood, Fair Oaks really does offer it all. And they also have their country club. So you don't have to live in Fair Oaks to be a part of the country club, but a lot of people do. And so with the country club, you have 2 different golf courses. You have your you have 2 different pools. So you have your more family style pool, and then you have your adults only. You have a fitness center. You have your clubhouse. You have the restaurant. And something about Fair Oaks is they're going through a huge renovation. So they have been listening to a lot of the residents talking. They have noted the concerns, and they are doing a massive renovation on the facilities that is just going to take it from an already amazing level just to top notch. Tennis, pickleball, they have all those different facilities that people love to go to, and then just the events that they have. So they have a ton of events that they put on at the country club that really get you involved in the community. So if you're looking for more of that country club style community, Fair Oaks has that for you. And they also, they do a really good job. So FORHA, the Homeowners Association for Fair Oaks Ranch, really thought through what they were going to do with the neighborhood prior to developing all the homes. And so they have parks located throughout Fair Oaks Ranch that are exclusive for Fair Oaks members, people who are members of FORHA. And you have one that is more of your just great family park that has your swings, it has climbing, it has walking trails, all of that. You have one that you walk alongside the river. So long walking trail right along the river, super fun to go there. And then another one that is more in that Deer Meadow Estates section. And that is again for members of that community. But again, walking trails, you have playgrounds, all of that. And then throughout the entire section of Fair Oaks Ranch, you have a ton of trails. So biking, hiking, walking trails that are just scattered all throughout. They all connect, which is really cool. And so that's something that I really like that they thought through prior to developing homes, is how are we going to keep this space hill country? How are you going to keep it natural? How are we going to keep people or allow people to get out and enjoy nature and enjoy what our community has to offer. Another thing about Fair Oaks is it does have its own elementary school. So you have Fair Oaks Ranch Elementary School that not a lot of people walk to. You can, but not a lot of people walk to. But what they do is it's a golf course or golf cart community. So you will see people driving their golf carts all over, whether it's up to the country club, to their neighbor's house to go pick up their kids from school. You will just see golf carts everywhere. They have little golf cart lanes. And so that is something fun that attracts a lot of people because it's unique to this area. You don't see a lot of that even in the San Antonio area, but it's kind of what they're known for. They're known for having the golf carts going all over and being able to get up to, your community bar, over to the country club, over to a friend's house. Like that's just what Fair Oaks is known for, is their ease of access, ease of transportation on golf carts. So that's something that a lot of people love about Fair Oaks. It is one of my favorite areas. We're always looking at houses in there. I have a ton of clients in that area, and it's just a really cool, unique area that is right off I-10. So if you want to talk about access for a second, access to other amenities as far as the city, you are so close to I-10. You can jump on I-10 and go, 10 minutes in San Antonio, 10 minutes into Boerne. You really are that midway point between San Antonio and Boerne. So you get the best of both worlds. You're not traveling 45 minutes, from Boerne all the way into San Antonio. You're right in that middle range. And so you see a lot of people who choose Fair Oaks, not just because they love what it has to offer, but also because if they're commuting in San Antonio, it has that country feel, yet you are so close to the city. So that is why a lot of people do choose Fair Oaks Ranch, and why people don't really leave. You see a ton of people who just are transient within the community, and they never leave Fair Oaks for the rest of their lives. And that's one of the cool things, is you have this really close-knit community where you will probably see people that you know everywhere that you go. So next up on the list, we're going to talk about Napa Oaks. And this one is going to be a little different than the ones we've talked about, more of your single-family residential production style, but I will tell you why it is on our list right now. So Napa Oaks is going to be a little bit different than the neighborhoods we talked about, because it is more of that affordable option for a lot of people. You are on your average size lot, so I would say about a 1/4 acre down to 0.15 of an acre. So definitely not big sprawling lots here. But what I like about Napa Oaks is you see a lot of neighborhoods that are one among a string of neighborhoods, right? Like you have a street and there's 10 different neighborhoods on it. Napa Oaks is kind of secluded off by itself. It's right off I-10. So if you want to talk about convenience to get onto the freeway, you just jump right onto the frontage road and you can take the U-turn into San Antonio, or you can take I-10 up to Boerne. So very, very convenient, but also seems very private and very hidden, which is one of the things that I love about Napa Oaks. Now, these houses, the neighborhood was built kind of up into the landscaping. So the neighborhood has lots of rolling hills, but with that, you have incredible views. So you see a lot of neighborhoods that are kind of tucked down into valleys. Napa Oaks is not. All of the homes, not all of them, but a lot of them have just amazing sight lines. And there are some challenges to that. You know, you will have more stairs, you will have slab, you have more of a sloped backyard. But to me, the views outweigh that, because you have sight lines into all the way to the downtown San Antonio, sight lines out to the hill country, just very beautiful views. But you have very affordable homes. So these houses are around that 400 and up range, typically. I would say they probably max out around 800. So you really have this affordable range there, but really beautiful, well-built homes. So some of these neighborhoods are thrown up very quickly by builders who don't really care, and Napa Oaks is not one of those. So you walk into these homes and they almost feel custom, because there are a lot of different upgrades. Not every house looks the same, but they do all have this very distinct look of what would be Napa Oaks. So lots of stone. You have a lot of the houses, and it's a particular builder, and if you're familiar with the area, if you're a realtor, you'll know, but they have kind of this castle-like facade on the front, so the very circular front, and they just have done a really good job on maintaining the quality of the builds by kind of making sure they all are in unison, but they all look different. And so that is what I really like about Napa Oaks. So you know, it's not like there's going to be a ton of open space, anything like that. It's just this small, quaint community tucked in off I-10 that offers affordable houses that are really, really great for, for young professionals who want to commute. If you have children there, it's close to a lot of amenities. It goes to, it's zoned for Boerne ISD ranked schools. And so just a really, really good community to get into. It's an entry level. You can get in there, get a feel for Boerne, and then kind of figure out if you want to expand anywhere else, go anywhere else. But that's why I have it on my list, because if you are looking to get into Boerne, but you're not into that $1 million range yet, this is a really good entry level that offers a ton. It's very private, it's gated, zoned to Boerne schools, but you're not going to spend an arm and a leg on it. So that is Napa Oaks. That's why it's on my list, because I think it is one of the best entry level neighborhoods in this area. And next on the list is Balcones Creek. So I almost flip-flopped Balcones Creek and Napa, because Balcones has a little more to offer, but I didn't, because I wanted to make sure that if you weren't going to stick around for the whole neighborhood tour or the whole, my top 5, then I wanted to get that entry-level one in there. So Balcones Creek, let's go into that one. So of course, zoned to Boerne ISD schools. Like all of these, it is zoned to one of our newest elementary schools, and so it's Viola Wilson. So you have a ton of perks there going into a brand new elementary school. It is stunning, has lots of upgrades that your littles, if you have littles in elementary school, get to take advantage of. But let's talk about the neighborhood itself. So this neighborhood, like a lot of them I've talked to, offers a wide range of homes. You don't have your sprawling large acre estates, but you do have a garden home section. So if you're looking for not even necessarily a smaller home, but less maintenance, you have an area where the front yards are taken care of by the HOA. Your backyard isn't that big. You still have a beautiful, beautiful home, but you're not having the maintenance of the huge front and backyards. They have your typical standard single family residential. So you have some backyard, you have some front yard, but you're not on, an acre plus. Again, those will probably be from half an acre all the way down. And then you have your estate section. And this is on larger lots, typically, half an acre to an acre, with beautiful custom homes, lots of trees. They've done a really great job of keeping the trees in this area. And so those are kind of your 3 different options, and those will range from your 400s all the way to your million plus. You have several different production builders in there, but with those production builders, a lot of them, especially in that estate section, are going to let you customize it. So you will drive by and no 2 homes look the same, and so that's something that really makes this community attractive. They also have a ton of community events that go on, so if you're looking for that really close-knit family feel, community feel, this is a really good community for that, because they always have things going on there. And then they have great amenities. So they have this huge open space right in the middle of the community where you have your pool, and it's a huge pool. You have your clubhouse, you have a playground area, and you have a community garden with a ton of green space. And so this developer has done a really good job about making sure that there's green space scattered in between everything, and houses are not stacked right on top of each other. You have some easements, you have this big open area to play in, and they've even left a historic building there, which I think is so cool. Everyone can walk through it and know that the history of Boerne is still in this neighborhood. They kept that strong. And so it's just a really great community. It is a larger community than, say, Napa Oaks. And you do have some entry-level price points, but it is going to be a little more expensive than what Napa Oaks is as far as that starting point, and you can go on up. There are a ton of options that were either built a while ago or are almost brand new. Have, like I said, a ton of options, really convenient in location. So you are right off I-10, right across from our new HEB. So if you are a big HEB fan like I am, all you have to do is drive right under the freeway to our brand new Lemon Creek HEB. And so super easy access to amenities. You can also go out the other way if you want to drive more out to the hill country to get into the San Antonio area. So you really have lots of options on where you can go. Now, one thing I will caution is it is near an airfield. And when I say an airfield, it is a private airfield in a subdivision. So you're not going to have 10 airplanes in and out every day. It is people's private planes that they have on their property. And so that is one caveat to Balcones Creek, is there will be some air traffic, but it's kind of cool. One, they're not super loud, but 2, it's kind of cool to see someone's private plane landing in the field next to your community. So Balcones Creek rounds out my top 5 places for you to look at if you want to live in Boerne in 2025. I'd love to hear your comments. I would love to hear if there's any neighborhoods that I didn't cover that you think should be on the list, and just kind of give me some feedback on what you think of Boerne as a whole and where you would want to live. I would love to help you find a home in Boerne. Would love to help you just plant your roots in a community that is so near and dear to my heart. So this is Amanda Grothues with Engel Invokers, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and there are more to come.